Hi everyone, this is Patty Sandstrom. Today is Sunday, June 28th, and I'm going to show you what's happening in the garden. Now before I get started, the first thing I'm going to mention is you are going to see cotton all over the garden because right above us is a huge cottonwood tree. If I would have thought about it before we put this garden in this location, when we moved here, I probably wouldn't have put it right under a cottonwood tree because during the month of June, there's cotton that falls constantly and makes a mess of the garden. But plants don't seem to really mind. I just pick it off, clean it up, and by July, it's usually pretty much done. So I think we're going to be able to harvest some things today. I brought my basket with. So I'm starting out here by the zucchini, which as you can see the plants have gotten massive. And I was looking last night and I think there's a few that are just about ready to harvest. So this size right here actually is perfect. I'm just going to pull that off. Zucchini go from this size to being huge in just about a day. And really this is about the size that they're best for eating, sauteing, grilling. So I've got this one, I think there's another one here. Oh, this is a little bit small, but I'm going to pull it anyway. And one more. There, three. Our first zucchini, so looking good. Right next to it we have the plants that are the butternut squash and the spaghetti squash, and the plants are, as you can see, spreading and massive, but I think I did see little baby spaghetti squash somewhere in here the other night, but those will be late summer before, lots of blooms, but those will be late summer before those are ready. And here I have some of my cauliflower, broccoli, cabbage, Brussels sprouts, what they call the brassica family. So I got these in a little bit later than I had hoped, but as you can see, like here, I do have broccoli heads forming, so hopefully we get some decent broccoli out of that. I'm not sure about the cauliflower, those don't seem to be doing a whole lot, so might have been too late and too hot for those. But my cabbage heads are starting to form slowly into what will form a head, so that will be fun to watch. And then Brussels sprouts, obviously those take a long time. Those are harvested in the fall, and those will grow on the stalk here, but nothing forming yet there. The green beans have been going crazy. I started picking those this week, so see if you can see right here, obviously these are just about the size to be picking, so I think tonight I'll bring my bucket out here and pick a bunch more green beans. Those will go all summer long if you keep picking them. Here I have my carrots, and I actually have not even pulled any of these up yet, but we're going to do an experiment here and see how big they are. I don't think they're big enough really to start harvesting, but let's just take a peek at one and see what we got. See if I can pull it up without breaking off the top. That's the problem. Oh, there we go. Not too bad. Here's my beets. These are the golden beets. And I've picked a few of these. They're a little small yet, but that's a good size for just roasting baby beets. So let's pull a few up here. Yeah, those are a little small yet. a little small. But let's check out some of the red beets. That's a decent size for roasting. So I'll probably pull up some more of those and we'll have a meal of roasted beets. Here's one of my kohlrabis that's getting close to being able to be harvested. They form this round bulb at the bottom, and that's the part that you eat. People also sometimes eat the leaves as greens, but I've never done that before. So once they get big enough, you can peel that, and I like to just slice them and eat them with salt. And turnips are getting big as well. Why don't we pull a few of these and see how big they are. Let's see. Oh, that one's rather small. I had a few that were fairly big. It's a little bit better size. Still on the small side, but those will be good with the beets when I roast those for dinner, so we'll have a few of those as well. I've been harvesting peas about every other day. This is the snap peas, and then I have the shelling peas down here, and those should be ready to pick again tonight. You see the pods that are getting pretty thick. Usually I just feel them and I can kind of tell if they're ready, big enough to be picked. So that's a nice one there. The melons plants look great. Lots of blooms on them, crawling up the trellis. But yeah, melons take a while. So again, those will be late summer before we actually get anything there. Some more cabbages. And the tomato plants are doing awesome. It's probably my best year for my tomatoes. Look at these. They've all pretty much reached the top of the trellis. I have some big tomatoes on already. Lovely. Pretty much every plant has tomatoes. Nice big bunches. So looking forward to lots of tomatoes for salsa and spaghetti sauce and canning. And here are my eggplants. I have 3 eggplant plants, and they have blossoms on as well. So we'll be getting eggplant. And then all of my peppers look really well. I noticed today there was one of these that actually had peppers of some size on them. So look at that. Lots of peppers. Looking good. And here are the raised beds by the trellis, and remember our goal was to get them trellising up and over, and so far so good. I've got melons as well as some pole beans that are climbing up on the other side, and then I've just got some carrots and radishes and turnips, or actually beets in there, and a pepper plant. So those beds are doing good. See my little chipmunk friend there. Potatoes. I've been picking off potato beetles every day, but so far the plants have stayed pretty healthy, and I think I'll be digging in there later this week to see if I can get some baby reds. It's almost time for that. Kale, of course, is going crazy in here. More onions. This is my bed that I have been clearing and replanting. So down at this end was where all of my lettuce was, and I pulled that out this week. It was getting too hot for that. Lettuce and spinach like the cool weather, so I did replant some spinach here, but we'll see how that does with this heat coming up. Probably not very well. I have a little kohlrabi in here that I started later. And then just last week I planted some new bush beans in here. So a couple different rows here of bush beans. and then some cilantro mixed in there in the middle. So that'll be fun. I've never grown beans in this raised bed, so we'll see how that goes. Here's the strawberry bed. And we've had a couple strawberries already, so that's been fun. I do have netting over the top because I noticed that the birds were pecking away at the ripe strawberries, so there's netting on top to prevent that. But these are looking good and getting big and spreading, so that's good. We want this whole thing to fill out with strawberries. And then look at my basil, it's been going crazy. I made pesto yesterday with a bunch of that. Cilantro has been growing well as well. Parsley at the end. And then my cucumbers are trellising up the trellis. And I saw some blooms on here yesterday too, especially on the pickling cucumbers, where they seem to grow a little bit faster than the slicers. So it won't be long and we will have cucumbers to pickle. Just wanted to show the herb garden here at the end. Lots of oregano and thyme and mint, sage growing. In the middle here I have planted a bunch of flowers from seed, some zinnias, nasturtium, maybe a few cosmos in there. So soon those will be blooming and making this bed look pretty. And last shot here of my oriental lilies that only stay nice like that for a week or so, so I'm gonna take it in while we can.